the Bob. I am here with Andrew,
How's it going?
and my microphone is cutting out. Is it still cutting out? Okay. I've got John here in the background. He's running our IT, and we are going to do position number 2 of our draft tournament. So our last video, we opened the 3 packs, 2 Modern Horizon and 1 Mystery Booster. And we did not hit anything really big, but that wasn't really the point. The point is that we are running a draft style imaginary tournament with real cards. Does that make sense?
Close enough for government work.
All right. So today we are just going to jump right into it. Those of you who are watching, I hope you understand that this is a draft tournament style film. We're going to be opening up packs and talking about the cards. Are you prepared, Andrew? Which pack should we open?
I'm ready. I think same as yesterday. You do the 2 Modern Horizons packs and then the Mystery Booster.
Okay. So we're going to set the first Mystery Booster
In fact,
off.
you have to because if you're at the same table as yesterday,
Right.
you have to do it the same way.
So which one of these is pack number 1, you think?
Oh, goodness gracious. I think the one with Urza on it.
Yeah, me too. I'm thinking Urza. Okay. So, pack number 1, Modern Horizon, seat number 2. We are opening the package right now. Super.
I don't think that's Urza. I think that's a bear.
Oh.
But it's okay.
Isn't Urza a bear?
It's perfectly okay. Maybe Urza looks like a bear sometimes.
Isn't
he is a very
the word
powerful
Urza
mage
mean
after all.
bear?
It does. Ursa Minor.
My bad. Okay, so we got a token.
I believe the guy on the other pack is Urza.
Oh, is it?
So.
Oh, I had no idea. My bad.
Yeah, Urza was printed as a card for not the first time, but the first time in a modern playable format.
So again, with the tokens and the art cards, we're just going to set them off to the side. But this is a foil Rhino token, and this.
Hey, free Rhino, 4/4 for 0.
Yeah.
You should draft that.
For 0. This is some kind of full art card. Do you recognize this? Oh, I forgot I'm doing.
That's upside down.
Yeah.
There you go.
Looks like a goblin of some sort.
Oh goodness, it's a kobold.
Oh, it's a kobold.
Yeah, or a goblin.
Okay.
I can't remember which one. I think that's. I just can't remember. I think he's pretty good though.
Okay, so we're jumping right in. Here's first card, Winds of Abandon. This is our rare for that pack. I'm going to set that right here so we can keep.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't draft that only because you don't want to. It works the same way as Path to Exile. You ramp the opponent into an extra basic land, and that's pretty bad in draft.
Ah, okay. This is Face of Divinity. That's one of our uncommons.
It's not horrible. It's ours are generally risky though, because if your opponent destroys a creature, they get 2 for 1.
Right, destroy 2 cards for the price of 1. This is a goblin, the Sling Gang Lieutenant. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 red goblin creatures. Sacrifice a goblin. Target.
Yeah, you might have to hold the card a little higher.
Oh.
I can't read the text here on the screen. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, closer up.
There you go. So there's a.
Now that is not a terrible card in draft.
Okay.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, he's weak, but he's kind of a creature and removal all at the same time.
So here is your Thundering Djinn. He's 5.
That's possibly a first
pick
in draft. Yeah, that's because the 3/4 flyer that deals
extra damage,
supplementary damage to other targets. That guy is going to be pinging. If he hits the board and he sticks, he's going to start clearing the opponent's board.
Okay. Pyrophobia. I've heard of pyromania, but not pyrophobia. All right, so deals 3 damage to target creature. Cowards can't block this turn. Oh. Turn of...
It's always draftable. I like the other guy better. Anything that deals 3 damage to a creature is possibly worth drafting.
Yeah.
Another Segovian Angel.
Yep, Segovian Angel.
Probably not a first pick, but not a bad card.
Mob.
That's pretty good in draft as well, because you can convoke into it pretty early possibly and get some needed removal.
Some early
No
removal.
matter how big the legions they drop, you could probably get it with that card. So that's a potential first pick as well.
Okay. There's the Universal Automaton. If you watch the first video, we've talked quite a bit about that, so we're not going to do too much more.
Now that is a coward, so it can't block if you pyrophobia.
Oh, that's right, because it has
so I'm not going to pick it.
every creature type.
Yes.
This is the Settle Beyond Reality, which we talked about as well.
We saw that before as well. That's not a bad pick. If you were already in white, you can pick that.
Twin Silk Spider.
That's not terrible.
Yeah.
But probably not a first pick.
Headless Spectre. It's like the Headless Horseman riding some kind of crazy thing. Hellbent.
Yeah, that's kind of a reprint of the concept of it's a much weaker version of the old Abyssal Spectre, but still very, very decent card. I don't think it's quite as good as the other flyer, but if you were already, this is being the first pack, we would probably pick the other guy over this.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a very strong pick in general. That would be a first pick in a lot of packs.
Okay. Goblin War Party. Create 3/1/1 red goblin creatures. Or creatures you control get +1/+1 haste until end of turn. What is
Entwine is if you pay an extra 2 and a red, you can get both effects.
Interesting. Okay. 1,000 cuts. It can attack this turn.
Yeah, that's not a bad card in draft.
Oh, wow. That's a great... It's Flying Defender, 3/5. And Smoke Shroud.
Well, but you can also make it not be a defender,
Right.
so it can be a flyer. I still would take the other guy, the Is It guy over that, but he would probably be second so far out of this pack.
So there you go. You have the biggest cards in front of you, those 5 cards. And you're suggesting that the Thundering Djinn is probably the best pick in that pack, which I would agree
Well,
with.
yeah, those other cards
Absolutely.
that you have in front of you are not ones I would pick. I would pick any of the 3 flyers out of this pack, but the Thundering Djinn is probably the best.
Yeah.
That guy's good enough that you probably go into Is It right then and there, and you choose those 2 colors for the rest of the draft.
Sure, and we know that Is It is a strong color pairing. It always has been.
It is, though much stronger usually in constructed. But if you draft a good Is It deck in draft, it is, as strong as it ever is.
Sure. All right, so we're gonna clean up the cards here and move on to the next pack with the assumption that our first pick was the Thundering Djinn. We'll just kind of take it easy.
Yes.
And slow.
And the assumption that hopefully we got a lot of other good Is It cards
Out of that pack.
out of that first round.
Right. We also.
Well, out of the packs that were passed around the table.
Right.
Again, we're only doing the simulation of the first pick from each pack.
Right.
It would be laborious and expensive to open up 8 complete sets a day. But
Yeah. Okay, so this is the second pack from seat 2. We're going to go ahead and
yes,
open.
and I do think that's Urza. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure.
I have no idea. This may be Urza.
Urza, the famous planeswalker of 25 years worth of lore.
Okay, so our token is the Elemental. Our art card is some kind of living and dead person. I don't know. That's kind of a creepy picture.
It's like some kind of a clone to me, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
It's like a high gloss. Snow-covered swamp. That's a thing.
Goes with your Arkham's Astrolabe.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, Force of Rage.
If it's not your turn,
That's
you
a
may
good card.
exile a card from your hand
red
rather
card
than
from
pay
your
the
hand
spell's
rather
mana
than-
cost. Oh, interesting. Create 2 3/1 red elemental creature tokens with trample and haste. Sacrifice those tokens at the beginning of your next upkeep.
I would say that's possibly the pick, considering we're already in it.
Right, we're in Is
it-
It.
It's absolutely a great card. It's kind of a combination of removal and creatures. They don't stick on the board, or else it would absolutely be first pick. But
Yeah.
you can use those elementals to do a lot.
Okay, so Vengeful Devil, he has haste, and his morbid ability is deal 1 damage to any target. Activate this ability only if a creature died this turn. So that's
he's pretty
that's
good.
pretty interesting.
If I hadn't seen the Force of Rage, he'd be a potential pick.
Okay.
He's good. He's a good red aggro card.
Throat Seeker, we saw.
He can fall off against a harder board, though.
Right. We saw the Throat Seeker last night. It's unblocked. Attacking ninjas you control have lifelink.
Now I have lost the update of the stream.
You've lost the what?
The stream is no longer updating for me, but
Oh.
that may just be on my end.
He said the stream isn't updating, but it could just be on. It looks like we're still live. Yeah.
If it's still live for you, I may have had some
Okay.
connectivity issues. You'll have to read out each of the cards.
So he lost
Yeah, I think
the Zoom. Oh, our audio's off, John. In Zoom.
Yeah, because I'm screen sharing.
Okay.
It was
Well,
Andrew.
Here's the Ravenous Giant. We're having a little connectivity issue. Sorry, everybody. It happens. Internet's not perfect, even though we would like it to be. The current card that is up is the Ravenous Giant, which we saw yesterday. At the beginning of your upkeep, Ravenous Giant deals 1 damage to you, but it's a 5/5 for 4.
Yeah, he's a pretty good pick. He's not terrible. I still might take the Force of Rage over him,
Sure.
but it's certainly because we're in Isness, he's a potential choice.
Okay. This is the Geomancer's Gambit. Destroy target land. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it into the battlefield, then shuffle. Oh, I just lost everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
We absolutely aren't picking that card in drafts. That card is great in Modern and Legacy and other formats where non-basic lands are deadly and need to be destroyed.
Right.
But draft isn't that.
Okay. And the Behemoth, which we are very aware of. Mind Rake, which we're aware of as well. Target player discards 2 cards.
It's not a bad pick.
Man of War. This pack is so similar to one of the other packs yesterday.
Can you let Andrew know that I sent him an invite?
Hmm?
I sent Andrew an invite.
I can't hear you.
Andrew, I sent you an invite to the Zoom again.
Yeah. I've got no connectivity out here. It's on my end.
No worries.
I apologize for that.
All
Have
right,
to keep
so
reading
Knight of
cards.
Old Banalia. This is a 3/3 for 5. It's 3 colorless and 2 white. Suspend 5 for 1 white. When the Knight of Old Banalia enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. So he has a suspend of 1, but it's, a spend for 1, but it's a suspend 5, which means 5 turns later he.
Yeah, I know. You would probably only take that guy if you were already committed to white.
Right.
He's not a bad card in white, but there are other picks that are better in this pack.
Absolutely. So here's the Winding Way. Choose creature or land. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all cards of the chosen type revealed this way into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Okay.
Yeah, probably. Seems a bit mediocre. It's not the worst, but
Yeah, it's not great.
you don't want to put a lot of stuff in your graveyard in draft that you're not playing because it's a small deck and you can deck yourself
Sure.
on a stall out.
When this is the first Sphere Gargantua. When the first Sphere Gargantua enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. It has Unearth for 3, which means this card from your graveyard to the battlefield, it gains haste, exile at the beginning of the next end step. So, it's a 5/4 for 5.
Yes, that's not a terrible card. Keep it up for a second there.
Oh, sure.
I just got connectivity again.
Great.
Because it has Unearth and it's a 5/4, if we had been in black, that might be the first pick because it's a big creature and it can come back from the graveyard once.
Sure.
Now it doesn't stick when it comes back, but still, a 5/4 swinging any number of times in draft is desirable. It's 6, so it's a bit slow. I still wouldn't take it over the red cards we've seen now that we're already in red, but it's not a bad card
Sure.
for the draft.
And every time it enters the battlefield, you do gain a card, so that's, you know, it's kind of useful.
Well, you lose life too,
Yeah,
though.
you
You
lose a
can
life. Draw a card,
hurt
lose a
yourself
life.
that way.
All right. Trustworthy
That's
scout. Exile scout from your graveyard and search your library for a card named Trustworthy Scout. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. That's great if you know that you have more than one in your deck.
yeah. If you see, I mean, that card you don't take first. You take it if it comes back around you in your colors, and then you start looking for other ones and you take them because it is actually pretty good if
Yeah,
you can
2/2 for
proc
2, but
back once or twice.
can go searching for another one. Fairy Seer, flying. When it enters the battlefield, scry
Not
2.
bad.
It's a 1/1 flying
It's
for 1. Yeah.
any flyers are good
Yep.
in draft. I mean, if you want to draft an all flying deck, we're already in it. You can take that.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Like I said, I wouldn't take it over the red cards we've seen, but
All right. Bladeback
uh-oh,
Sliver.
there's the sliver.
Hell bent. As long as you have no cards in hand, sliver creatures you control have tap this creature, deal 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. Wow.
Yeah, it's if you happen to be the player from yesterday, we probably don't draft that because there's just not going to be that many slivers.
Right. Especially
However,
over the Force of Rage.
well, he's good though. Boy, oh boy, he's really. If you happen to take that second and then get another bunch of packs with blue and red slivers, you could have a really dirty deck.
Yeah.
So that's a choice. It's kind of an are you feeling lucky choice. Because if you don't see any other slivers, you can't really play that guy.
Right.
But if you do, you have a great card. And these are the difficult choices that professional drafters have to try to make.
Sure.
It's you have to pick a theme early and try to draft cards that have synergy with each other in order to have the best draft deck. I still say in this pack, probably either the Force of Rage or the Ravenous Giant. Maybe the Vengeful Devil. We're already in Is It because we took that blue and red guy from the first packs. So I'd probably take the Force of Rage because it can surprise people. You can block it. It can be used as a removal spell or a kill card if you have priority on the other player.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say probably the Force of Rage, but either the Giant or the Goblin, the Devil, the one that does damage to, it's kind of like an easier version to proc of the Sliver.
Sure.
Much weaker, but I would say the Force of Rage, though, it would be the one that we'd take out of this.
All right.
It's not just because it has good value, but because it is the rare and it is playable, and that your opponents will be surprised to see it.
Yeah, that's a big one. Your opponents will be surprised to see it.
When you get a good rare in a draft, one that's playable enough, it will give you an element of surprise because mostly, people are drafting commons, uncommons.
Sure, yeah. Playable rares are really surprising in draft.
And they are the strongest, cards in the set if they're appropriate to the format. So,
okay.
All right, now here we take the repackaged pack. I mean the mystery booster.
The mystery booster. So for those of you who aren't tracking, if you didn't watch the first video for some reason, please pause, go back and watch it. If you have watched it, then you know that the mystery booster is an enormous set that is completely random for pretty much all of Magic. We don't have any idea what we're going to pull. There's 1,695 cards in the set, and they're just...
No, only 1,693.
93, my bad. So we're going to go ahead and open this pack, and we're going to see what we get. This has a potential for high value cards, but very low chance of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, card number 1, Sensor Splicer. It's a 5-drop. When Sensor Splicer enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token. Golem creatures you control have vigilance. Oh, so he creates a
I probably don't take him.
yeah, he creates
It's
a
going to be too
3/3.
hard to find other golems,
Yeah, exactly.
and he's expensive.
Um, Angel Song, 2 drop, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn, and it also cycles.
Yeah, again, probably it might be fun to pick it, but still not tearing up my draft world here.
Sure. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So this is a 2 drop draw card. This is great for those Is It colors.
Yeah, it's possible because we are in blue. It's not the strongest effect.
No,
It's possible. Oh, there we go.
invisibility.
Now that's probably the pick.
This is a big deal. Enchanted creature can't be blocked except by walls.
Yeah, unblockable effects in draft win draft.
Exactly.
That's probably the pick unless we see, because we are already in it. That's probably the pick. But let's keep going.
All right.
Let's see what's going on.
Daring. What is that? Demolition? Daring demolition?
During demolition.
Oh, demolition.
Creature
Wow,
or
I can't read. Destroy target
Yeah,
creature
it
or
would-
vehicle. That's cool.
Yeah, if you were in black, that'd be a good pick.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're probably not going to blow up any vehicles with it. But
Yeah. Annihilate. Destroy target non-black creature. It can't regenerate. Draw a card. I like Annihilate
Yep.
because it replaces itself in your hand. But it's
it's a
expensive.
cantrip, certainly. The non-black thing can be a problem.
Yeah.
If you go up against a player that drafted all black, that's a dead slot in your deck.
Exactly.
Or a very
A
expensive
very, a
cantrip.
very expensive draw card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Desperate Ravings. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card at random. At random? That's
Yeah.
not pleasant.
That's kind of a weaker version of a card called Faithless Looting,
Oh,
which
yeah.
was so good it was banned in Modern.
Yeah,
That's
faceless.
the kind of card you play in a constructed format that needs
Sure.
dredge and lots of draw. You probably don't play it in draft because discarding your best cards out of your hand at random would be bad.
Okay. So, Blastfire Bolt. That was weird. There was 2 uncommons partway through this pack. Did you notice that?
I'm telling you, dude, it's
This is
just Richard
so
Garfield
odd.
repacking packs in the back
Richard Garfield
of the
just
Wizards of the Coast back there.
gleefully cackling.
They've got him chained up somewhere. That's all the Mystery Booster is.
Yeah. Okay, so Blastfire Bolt deals 5 damage to target creature. Destroy all equipment attached to that creature. Interesting.
Not terrible.
No.
It's 6, so it's really hard to cast.
Really
I probably
expensive.
wouldn't take it first pick.
Yeah.
You take that if it comes back around to you, though.
Commune with nature. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. It's not too bad in green.
Not the worst.
Yeah.
But we're not in green,
You're
so we
not
probably
in
don't take
green.
that.
Titanic Growth.
Same thing with Titanic Growth.
You're not in green. This is a great card if you're in green, but we're not.
Yeah, but we're not in green, so we probably don't take that.
Alright, Soul Manipulate. Choose one or both. Counter target creature spell. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Wow.
Yeah, it's not the worst. I would probably consider taking it if we didn't have invisibility in that pack.
Right.
And then you'd be playing 3 colors. You'd go. But it's not, I don't know if you add, if that's good enough to add black for, really.
Yeah,
Not
I
the
don't think
best.
so, probably. Ash Barrens. Basic land cycling. Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
So it says pay
Yeah,
one,
that's
discard this
it's a
card,
weird.
search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. This is great if you're
You
in
can ta-
multicolors and you need something to go
Yeah,
get that other
If
color.
you're in 3 or more colors, you actually want that card.
Yeah.
But still, out of this pack, is that the last card?
No, there's several more cards.
Okay.
There's a rare.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Wow.
Oh, you probably draft that,
Wow.
actually.
At the beginning
Oh,
of
I
your
don't know.
upkeep.
Now invisibility has a serious
Put a
competitor.
muster counter on a symbol of the Legion. Put a 1/1 red and white soldier creature token with haste onto the battlefield for each muster counter on a
So
symbol
it
of the
has
Legion.
it has an equivalent to what like the old cumulative effect.
Yeah.
The first turn that you have that out, you get, the first turn that you have it out at the start of your turn, you get a 1/1 red and white creature with haste.
Right.
From the next turn, you get 2. And the next turn, you get 3.
Right.
And the next turn, you get 4. That card is possibly strong enough to consider going and splashing white for in our Izzet deck.
Oh, okay.
Because that is a card that wins games, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I really don't know.
Oh
I would have a really hard time.
gosh.
Well, there you go. You actually got one of the few valuable picks out of this.
Yeah, so those of you that don't know what just happened, this is called Kiki-Jiki Mirror Breaker. He has haste. He's expensive. He's a 5-drop, 3 red and 2 other. Haste. He's a 2/2 creature. If you tap him, you put a token that is a copy of target non-legendary creature you control onto the battlefield. That token has haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step.
Yes. And Kiki-Jiki is infamous because he has been involved in a number of infinite combos.
Yes.
Over his history. He was an integral part of the Splinter Twin deck, which, made a copy of Kiki-Jiki and then infinite copies, I believe, of Kiki-Jiki. And just absolutely ran you over with them. Actually, it wasn't just Kiki-Jiki. Kiki-Jiki is actually what's been used to replace Splinter Twin after Splinter Twin got banned in Modern,
Sure.
because I think what you do is you actually copy. There are 2 other cards that let you untap when they come into the battlefield, and the way it works is you don't actually make infinite copies of Kiki-Jiki. You untap Kiki-Jiki and make infinite copies of the stuff that
Right, like the little fairy.
that untaps him.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so, he may be the draft too, not because. And here's the weird choice: if you're drafting to win, I actually still think invisibility or what was the one we just saw?
Assemble the Legion.
The Assemble the Legion. Both of those are, I think, a little stronger than Kiki-Jiki in draft. The conundrum is this card is worth money.
Yeah,
so do
he's
you
worth
draft him
$10
out of your pack? Because he's a $10 card.
Yeah. Okay.
He's I don't know. If
One
it's me,
more
I
card.
might take Kiki-Jiki because you can make a copy of that flyer that you have,
Mhm.
and then both of them are dealing damage. I mean, I might just draft him. He might just be the pick. He's good enough. There are 3 incredibly strong cards in this pack. It's one of probably the best pack we've seen for a draft in the 2 days
Sure.
so far. That we've
All right,
done.
one last card.
So,
Oh, it is a foil legendary creature, the Morrow Gnawer.
yeah, it's sort of King Rat.
It is
It's
foiled. You people can see that. I'll try to adjust it on the camera so you can see it's foiled. It's a 3/2 for 5. All rats have fear.
2/3.
Oh, 2/3 for 5. All rats have fear. Sacrifice a rat. Put X 1/1 black rat creature tokens into play where X is the number of rats you control. Oh,
Yeah, he's good. He proliferates. The thing is, you have to have another rat
right.
out to work with him. So he's probably not a great draft pick because you're not likely to see a lot of rats. But there are a few rats in Modern Horizons. So
Sure.
if you're in black, you could take him. Kiki-Jiki, Assemble the Legion, and Invisibility are all potential game-winning cards in a draft deck. So you certainly take one of those 3. And if I had to pick, not based on price, oh goodness, I don't know. It's really hard. This would be one where you'd be going back and forth between these 3 cards, trying to make a choice. I might give the edge to Assemble the Legion because once it hits the board, if the game goes on long enough, you win.
Yeah.
In a draft, but it makes you go into white and you can lose because you're going in the 3 colors then. Whereas if you just take invisibility, you have this incredibly strong effect in red and blue, and you can drop that. But boy, Kiki-Jiki is fantastic too. If it were up to me and I'm just trying to win, I'd probably take the invisibility.
So what are the chances
if I want money?
If the first draft we take this, what is the chances that someone else at the table is going to be in blue? And usually that's pretty high, and this is their target if they're in blue. So it's kind of like it doesn't matter. Either of those are not probably going to make it around the table back to you.
No, I would. If anyone lets any of these 3 cards make it back around the table to you, then you ought to probably win that draft.
Yeah,
I
you're probably
hope.
going to win the draft.
Just because, well, not even so much on the base of the cards, but because you
Because
have a
somebody doesn't know how to
very
play Magic.
inexperienced
Yeah,
draft table.
yeah,
These are all three potentially game-winning cards in draft.
absolutely.
Given the fact that we already were in Izzet, I would probably take the invisibility if this were like a pro event and I was trying to, you know, just be the absolute most efficient possible.
Sure.
But, you know, if you just got started with the game and you don't have any cards yet, you absolutely take Kiki because you can get $10 worth of value out of him.
Absolutely.
Visibility is a valueless common.
And it's a very high value trade card. People love to trade for Kiki. They don't really like to spend money on him, but that means when you're trading, usually you get a better value anyway.
Now, here's the other issue. You have to decide if you already have a pretty strong deck, sometimes you might take Assemblable Legion and not play it because that is a card you absolutely would hate draft out of somebody else's hand. Because if you see that on the board against you, you're just going to have a terrible time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
This is certainly the most interesting choice out of the pack so far, and you know, this is the reason they do the mystery boost.
Exactly.
Because every once in a while you get a pack like this that just really makes things spicy.
Yeah, so for those of you who are watching, when we do our final roundup and we discuss from the perspective of all different players, we will talk about where these end up in the draft, and it'll be interesting to find out because I have a feeling that they won't go very far around the table. So we'll see what happens, especially knowing that seat number 1, we had him in what colors? In
that was black
and white, or was it black and?
Were we red?
I
can't recall. I'll have to.
Yeah, so
start taking notes on it all.
Yeah, so,
but they were certainly black was the primary color
yeah,
in the
I think
first.
it was, which it may mean that they go with that soul manipulation or something like that because they have that black with that blue capability. Who knows?
I don't know. If we're seat 2, are we to the left or the right of this? The other player. We're gonna have to.
Yeah, we'll establish that when we sit down on the last day and we do all of our calculations. So for those of you that are watching, there's about a week from the last opening to when we actually give our calculations out and we decide what decks to build, because we need time to do all of that. There's a lot there. We have to unpack each one of those in comparison to all the others. So we're going to spend a lot of time in the background so that you guys don't have to watch it, but we will still discuss it on camera on the last day. Is there anything else that we need to be talking about, Andrew? Anything that you're thinking of?
No, I think we're probably done on this round. Just make sure you keep them all separate. Love to see Kiki show up there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such
a card.
It's a very rare thing to pull a valuable mythic out of a mystery booster.
Yeah, absolutely. So. And that makes our video run time a little short, right?
A half hour.
Yeah, about 30 minutes. Okay.
All right. Well, now we just clearly have to go stage an expedition to rescue Richard Garfield from the Wizard's basement where he's stuck stuffing mystery booster. Form the party. Who's the cleric? The Wizards has just added Dungeons and Dragons party-like mechanics.
Yeah,
standard.
That'll be really interesting to see. So, for those of you who are interested in Magic, there is the next big set that's coming out is called Zendikar Rising, and that set has a lot of interesting things going on. We have a enormous order of that happening, so we'll be doing a lot of that opening live. We will have probably 6 booster boxes and at least 1 box of the collector's edition boosters. So that's a first time for us. We've never done collector boosters before. Andrew, what do you think? Have you ever done collector's boosters?
I have not.
Okay. So yeah,
I have not, and the experience. I don't know. I mean, are they like the VIP packs of the?
We don't know, and that's why we only bought one of them this time, because the VIP packs really burned us for the double masters, I felt like
Yeah.
we did not get our value out of the VIP packs. They were $100 a piece, and they had about $85 worth of value in each one altogether.
That is why you stream this, because you want to show your users and your customers what is and is not worth buying.
Yeah, exactly.
For,
We're
from
doing
each release of
a
product.
price comparison. So if you have watched the older videos, you know that we kind of just open things, but we're not just doing it at random. Each of those things is a reason. So if you don't know why we're opening those, maybe you should rewatch those videos and check it out. We will be giving a lot of information about each of the cards and that sort of stuff. And I think that's all I have for today. Thank you again to Andrew for joining us via the Zoom call and phone call at the same time. We appreciate that.
Happy to be here,
Yeah.
even through the tachyon storm. Or maybe it's just really hot.
Just really hot.
And the internet goes out.
Yeah, it's really hot here. We're in Sacramento. We're in the middle of another heat wave. So, all right. And,
All right. Well, I will see you for future openings.
all right. Thank you, Andrew. Have a good day. Thank you to everybody who's
Sounds
watching.
good.
Have a good day. I hope this has been informative, and we will look forward to seeing you again. Is it tomorrow? It is tomorrow at noon.
Tomorrow at noonish.
Yeah. All right. We will be doing this again tomorrow at noon. Thank you. Goodbye.